no pun intended. I'm like, I always do that on the radio because it's been the longest day ever, but so well worth it. I've got my queen, Charlotte, is in the studio.
Thanks for having me.
I'm so nerded out. I know you talked to my husband this morning, and he probably told you that, like, I'm a super fan, and, like, you're my number one. You're my number one.
Thank you.
No, and I have a great story. So last year, Sasha Banks was here doing interviews like everybody does. True story. So my husband was here at that time, and he interviewed Sasha, and they're done with their interview, and they're walking down the hallway, and I'm leaving here, going to get coffee, like, not caring about anything, and I see them walking towards me, and my husband says, "Oh, Sasha, this is my wife, Teresa. She's a big fan of Charlotte." And Sasha looked at me and went, and I said, "Woo!" Like, I didn't know what else to say. It was the most awkward thing ever. And I kind of laughed later, and I said, you know what? That's proof that you take, like, the fandom, like, into real life. Like, it's real life. We're not in the ring. You know, she's not working or anything. She's walking in the hallway. And I mean, it was so serious. Like, when you're a fan of somebody, you're a fan of somebody, you know?
I appreciate that. Thank you.
She wanted to beat my ass for you. I was fine with that.
Yeah, you got residual, we'd say heat.
I get. Does that ever happen to you? Like, you're out, you know, in any day life situation, when you get a chance to be a normal person, do people, like, you know, come up and boo you or anything?
Right now, yes.
Right now.
Right now, yeah. I'm getting a lot, like, are they giving me a dirty look because of what happened at work, or did I cut them off, or
it's all about work.
Yeah.
That's got to be tough to have that split. Like, do you ever get a chance to even be normal? You're always
when I'm sitting in my hotel room in, like, ugly
yourself?
pajamas eating my Ben & Jerry's, I'm like, I really hope no one can see me right now.
Have you ever come close to getting in a fight with anybody because they've been a little too aggressive with you? Or somebody else, like, where...
You mean in person?
In person, like a situation. No?
No. I mean, I've had maybe radio interviews where I could tell the person was trying to ask a question that probably shouldn't be asked.
Right.
And I get really snarky. Or, like, I give them, like, that dead stare and super... Like, I'm usually a pretty intense person. So, yeah. But that's... No. Never...
I'm not that person, by the way. I'm not one of those jocks. When someone will say, please don't talk about this, I will never bring that up because that would piss me off to all get-go. So, you know, the first thing I have to say is, you know, you being you're at main event now for Wrestlemania. Like, how does that feel? Main event at Wrestlemania.
I wake up every morning and I'm like, I'm the main event, baby.
It's like, what were those moments? Was there a moment behind the curtain before Vince came out? Was it Tuesday night and he announced that you were going to be...
Oh, Monday night.
What was it Monday night? What happened behind the curtain there?
Like, real life, though, it's one of those things, our job is go, go, go. And I really try hard to sit there sometimes and just think, like, wow, like, it doesn't get any better than this, what the women are doing in the industry and where women's wrestling is going and what we mean. To so many different people, but it's hard to, like, it hasn't hit me yet because I can remember just debuting like 4 years ago and thinking, oh my gosh, Sasha and I are main eventing Raw, or then we're main eventing Hell in a Cell. Like, I didn't think it was going to get bigger than Hell in a Cell. Then we main evented TLC, and then there was Evolution, the all-women's pay-per-view. It's just these opportunities keep coming our way, and we continue to keep over-delivering. So it's like, okay, if we can main event WrestleMania, that means we could do it the next year.
Absolutely.
And the next year.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't need to be like, oh, we just main evented WrestleMania one time. Like, my clock's, like, ticking. It's like, what else can we do? Like, anything is possible. Like, it's just crazy.
I went to, I was at WrestleMania last year. And, you know, so it's last year, it's New Orleans, my first WrestleMania. I've been to many events, obviously. And I was pregnant at the time. So I feel like it lasted 12 hours. It was so long.
It is very long.
It's long. It was a lot. And it started to smell real gamey around, like, I mean, Joe was with me, too. It started to get real gamey and hot, like some teenage, like, locker room, a boys smell. It was starting to get really foul. That's a long day. And at the end, we watched the main event, and I'm a big Roman Reigns fan. Like, when everyone boos him, I'm standing up screaming for Roman. Because I'm a diehard Roman fan always. And during that main event, we had a line of, like, 12 people, and my husband looked at me and some other people, and they said, Charlotte should have been in that main event. Like, we even joked. We were like, Charlotte should have just jumped in there. It would have been a better main event. Nothing against them. There just wasn't something exciting about it. So
Well, I think the audience might have been tired. Like you said, it's 12 hours.
It's a lot.
And that's a lot of pressure. And Roman has that pressure on him every year now. What, for 5 years he's main evented? That's a lot of pressure.
Right.
I'm flattered that the fans said that.
Yeah, we really did.
I really felt like last year, my match against Asuka really like solidified my career. I don't know. It was like a big moment. Like I'd had so many firsts, but I don't know. That night just felt like it all came together, and Asuka had that unbelievable streak that no woman in the history of the company had ever had. And I don't know. It was just a special night.
It was good to watch you, to watch you up close, I guess, in person was pretty awesome. And I've seen you a couple different times when you've come through town. And I think the one thing that I like this whole, the women's evolution going on right now, but the one thing we talk about when we watch, and all of our little, we call them our geeky WWE wrestling fans, we all agree is between you and Becky Lynch is my number 2. I love Becky. Becky and you, even Ruby, the athleticism is so there. Like, you don't just have old school, like divas where you're good looks and you go in there and you know the moves, but you guys perform. That's one of my favorite things about you, is you come out all poised and polished and gorgeous. 4 minutes into your hair is like,
I know,
like this, there's blood, the drama. I love the drama. It's so entertaining.
I buy my pantyhose at Hooters. I do. Because they make the best ones. Like, I have to go into random Hooters all over the country. And I'm like, hi, do you have pantyhose? But they're $5 a piece. And I ruin mine almost like every live event. Like tomorrow I have a live event in Alexandria.
Right.
I'm not wrestling Sunday, but I have a live event Monday, SmackDown Tuesday. So like I go through 5 pairs a weekend. I'm like, it's $5 a pair. I'm like, I need them to sponsor me. Like, because I just like get in the ring and they rip. I'm like, why am I so rough? Like, my hair, but
well, and we play the guessing game. Where's the blood coming from? Because there's always blood on you somewhere. So we're llooking at elbows, and I mean,
like if you look at my arms, they're covered up. Like I have so many just like little scratches. Like I'm just a bleeder.
I'm a bleeder.
I'm like my dad.
I'm a bleeder. Well, no, that's why we enjoy watching you, and I enjoy watching Becky too. And I think, well, Joe can probably back me up, and Joe's behind the camera right now, but he is a super wrestling fan. Do you envision, Joe, that will we see Becky in the main event with Charlotte? Is that what everyone's anticipating?
I think that's what I would love to see. I mean, no offense to Ronda, but I mean, she didn't grow up, so to speak, in the biz. You know what I mean?
Agree.
It's like, I think the fans kind of want that who earned it type thing. Again, I don't know that that's fair to Ronda, but I'd love to see. I think a lot of fans would love to see.
I think Ronda's had her time. I mean, she's not going anywhere anytime soon. But like I said, you're number 1, Becky's number 2, and I've even gone through Twitter, like reading what everybody's talking about, and they are so fair game for that. Is there a possibility that we'll see you and Becky in there?
Number 1 doesn't talk about number 2.
What if somebody tries to sabotage you while you're sitting front row at Elimination Chamber? I will be there and I will be prepared.
You got my back, woman?
I will be standing up, taking my hoops off, ready to throw down. What if somebody tries to sabotage you? Are you prepared for sabotage?
Someone asked me that, but the radio show before this, and I was thinking to myself, you really think I need to be scared of limping Becky coming down after me? Like,
what if
I don't know.
What if she starts coming at you with that knee brace or what if it's somebody else that's coming after you?
I'll have my kendo stick.
That's true, and you know how to use that for sure. Well, I prepared for anything and everything, but I'm excited that we'll see you front row Elimination Chamber. Are you going to pop out for any other matches? Or are you just going to come out to watch what happens with Ruby and...
right now, I just have a front row ticket.
Yeah? Are you going to be talking? Are you going to be on the headset? Are you going to be talking?
No, I think I'm going to be live tweeting. I already thought about this. I'm like, God, what am I going to be doing during this match? I'm going to be behaving, live tweeting.
Well, everyone's going to have their eye on you, of
Ruby. I'm rooting for the bad guy. I mean, I already, gave Ronda a beating of a lifetime at Survivor Series.
Are you going to make a sign with glitter on it and everything? And like...
Oh, maybe I should. The queen's sitting right here.
Queen with an arrow.
I'm right here.
Sorry. Now, the one thing that I thought about was what happened on. Sorry, my hair is attacking me and it's flying all over the place. On Twitter, a couple days ago, I don't know when it was, but somebody was talking bad about Ruby Riott, and you actually, it was somebody who was a fan of yours, but they were really being hard on her, and you shut them down. And I thought that was so awesome, a true champ, because you know they're not bagging on you. They were talking bad about Ruby, and you stood up for her and kind of put that guy in his place. It was awesome.
Well, here's the thing about my social. For the most part, I'm always in character. And I understand I am the most hated wrestler probably right now in the WWE. But we are humans at the end of the day. And it's fine, like I said, to boo the people you don't like, cheer the people you like, but don't spew garbage on my timeline. Because I have no time for that.
Right.
Especially not about my coworkers. Not about, I mean, I just don't. And for the longest time, I always went, you're not supposed to give negative, like don't give the negativity life.
Right.
Because that's what they want, right? But I had just gotten to that point, especially after what happened Monday, and I'm just reading through things, like, you can say whatever you want about me, because I know how good I am. Like, I belong in the main event.
Absolutely.
I am the main event. But don't talk about my coworkers. Especially, like, no. And especially a girl that's worked her butt off and stands for something so much greater than anyone can understand for little girls at home. Like, get off your keyboard.
Agreed, and I think that's what makes you such a role model, you know, besides being the most hated wrestler right now in WWE. You are a role model. You know, like I said, you have the athleticism, and you can tell how hard you've worked to get where you're at today. It wasn't just handed to you because of what your dad is. You, like, grind. I mean, we see the difference in your wrestling from when you debuted, you know. Yeah. You put how much effort, how many times do you go to the gym? How's your grind? Like, what do you do just to keep up with this?
I'm like constantly thinking about it. One of the things, though, I did do is, like, I am obsessed with the gym. It's just part of my character, my look is, like, how much I'm trying to think of the word. Like, going to the gym is, like, part of the job.
Right.
Like, how much I invest in myself, I feel the audience can tell. But with my work, I felt like even when I debuted, I still felt light years behind my coworkers. Like, when I was I still to this day go, God, I wish I could go back and redo my rivalry with Sasha, because I'm not the talent I am now, or that I was then that I am now. I'm like, God, what the magic that we had then, imagine what we could do now. No, but it's just constantly watching my matches back, and then there's a few wrestlers that are kind of like my mentors that I'll go to and say, like, hey, like when I came to SmackDown, AJ Styles was someone who I went to every day. How can I get better? What about this? What about that? And then, you know, when they turned me into a good guy when I came to SmackDown, I had to relearn everything. And now that I'm back bad, I'm like, man, I know what my bad guy needs, and I know what my baby face needs. So, like, I'm going to be that much better. I don't know. The ones that never stop learning, I think, are the ones that you see over time continue to progress. And you have to evolve. Everything evolves. And if your character doesn't, if you don't, you fall off. I think that's why, other than me being the chosen one, I think that's why I've always maintained here, because I never stopped. Like, I might be stale, but you could still see growth.
Absolutely. And speaking of growth, I had a couple people from Twitter that had some questions for you, and I thought this was kind of a good one. My question for Charlotte now is, now that the women are finally going to do a main event, do you see a woman's only brand anytime soon?
So, it's not that I'm opposed to an all-women's brand, but I want to be on a show where there's men. I want
you to wrestle John Cena or something.
No, it's not intergender wrestling. It's just, I want to know that I'm going out there every night saying, like, I'm follow this. Or I'm going to be the main event. Or I'm going to have the best match, knowing that men are on the card and women. It's like, it takes both. It's kind of like, can you imagine an all-male show without women? Like, it's not that I loved the all-women's pay-per-view once a year.
Right.
But I don't want an all-women's show.
No, and that's part of the joy of going to watch, even when you get to go to a live event, whether it's a Raw or a SmackDown or wherever you are, or any of these other great women wrestlers, is, I don't know how many times where we've had two men in the ring, and then the women come out and we're like, ooh, this is going to be a good match. And everyone puts their beers down and everyone gets back from whether to watch. Yeah. I feel like the women are really not overshadowing the men, but proving that, main event, but it's really cool to see.
It's just that now people are looking at our matches and they're not just going, okay, these are two women. They're like, that's just a great match.
Exactly.
And then that's because like someone was like, oh, how does it feel to be better than the guys? I'm like, we're not better than the guys. It's just our storyline right now happens to be juicier. And like, I think it started with Becky and I in our rivalry. The friendship story, everyone understands.
Right.
So everyone can pick a side and get invested. And people had seen Becky's journey. People had seen my rise. And then whoever, whether you're booing me or cheering me, even though I was supposed to be the good guy, you still felt something. And that's what's continued to where we are now going into the main event of Mania.
Another question was, how do you balance being a top heel but also being a role model for people? Is it complex in some way?
So that's what I'm working on right now, like this week, I'm going to seem arrogant, maybe to some who look into my social, but when it comes to things that are inappropriate, like I said, sticking up for Ruby,
right.
I won't tolerate it. And if you think
bold.
I'm here because I'm Vince's favorite, then think that.
Well, and I think that's strong because you don't have to let everybody else go down. You don't have to bash any of the other superstars.
No.
You're lifting them up, yet gonna kick their ass in the long run. And that's pretty strong.
Yeah.
That's pretty strong in my opinion.
It's the whole queen attitude, like be above it.
Absolutely.
And there's a way to do that without bringing others down. Like, I'm going to say I'm the best. I'm the main event. I'm Miss Wrestlemania. But I'm not going to, like, I have to put you down to say that I'm Miss Wrestlemania. Like, there's ways to go about it.
If you could think in just the history of the WWE superstars, dead or alive, just off the top of your head, who do you think would make a great match? Like, who maybe never wrestled, guy, girl? I mean, just think about it. Like,
me?
For anybody,
For
not
anybody.
you, but if you got to watch two superstars, dead, alive, anytime, what would make a great match for you that maybe you haven't seen or we haven't seen yet?
I'd love to see AJ and Shawn Michaels.
Mr. WrestleMania himself.
Yeah.
That'd be a great match.
I feel like that'd be a pretty cool match.
I kind of feel like AJ Styles a little bit of, what he brings to it. Like, he's a little, like a little Spawn. I think that'd be a great match. That'd be a great sweaty match with a lot of furry chest.
A lot of hair.
A lot of fur. Before I let you go, because I know it's been a long day, since you're in a music, a radio station, we got to get a little taste of your music taste.
Oh, I like everything. I really do.
If you had a choice to go to two concerts, like one was Metallica, one was Drake, which one would you choose?
Oh.
That's kind of a tough question.
That's kind of it depends on my mood and my date. Like, but I don't know.
Let's see, who could I pick as your date to go to the show?
No, like if I'm going with my girls, maybe Drake. If I'm going with a guy, Metallica.
That's a good choice. What if you had Britney Spears or Celine Dion?
I've been to both.
Who's a better show? That's a stupid question. Celine Dion's got.
I actually went the same year when Celine Dion did. What was it? 2009? 2010?
Yeah.
2009. And then I went to the circus tour of Britney. They're so different. Like, Britney's so animated and the dancing, I could watch it the whole time.
But Celine's
like sitting there drinking the wine and you're like, my heart will.
Yeah. Like, I want
just
whatever
like that.
Celine takes every day just to be like, oh, like she's so animated.
Know.
Lady Gaga or Cardi B? Just another little flavor of who you would choose. That's a super tough one. Lady Gaga or Cardi B with all her body parts just hanging out. Both actually would have their body parts hanging out.
Oh my gosh. You can't, that's too
close.
I don't know. That's too hard.
We'll go to both shows. I'll go with
maybe
you.
right now, I guess Cardi B.
Yeah. That'd be a good choice.
Yeah.
They're both not going anywhere anytime soon. Charlotte, I'm so happy that you got to come in here. Joe, do you have any final questions? I want you to get in whatever you have.
Well, look, I don't want to back up to the nerd region again.
That's okay.
But the only thing I think that I saw people wanting to cover, I'm curious about this too. The women's tag team titles are launching at the Elimination Chamber, right? First ever. Had you been in that match, who would you prefer be your partner from today's roster? Natalia?
Oh, what a great little partnership that would be. Now, Natty follows me on Twitter. No pressure, Charlotte.
No. To find you on Twitter.
No pressure, Charlotte, at all. Thank you very much for coming in. Elimination Chamber Sunday, obviously in Houston. We'll see you on the sidelines for a small bit, and we know you'll be live tweeting the event. We'll be looking for you. I'll be there. I got your back if anything happens. Joe's going to be there too. That's it. It was an honor to meet you. It was an honor to meet you.
No, thank you.
Please keep up the
Thanks
great
for the
job.
great questions. It was a way to end my media day.
And that's all
Really?
I needed to hear. Bam.
That was awesome.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.